Hello, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another episode of TEW 2020 WWE, back properly now for Season 2. I guess starting now with episode number... if you'll give me a moment, I will just look it up to give you an exact number, because off the top of my head, I ain't got much, to be honest with you. Episode number... 65, as a good place to start as any. Episode number 65, Season 2, of course, running from right here, right now, the Raw, NXT, and Smackdowns after WrestleMania 38, all the way till WrestleMania 39 in about 12 months' time, probably, to be honest with you. A long way to go, and let's just get right into Season 2 here, kicking off, as always, with Monday Night Raw. And yes, out comes first the WWE Champion, your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion at that, Kyle O'Reilly, the man who won the Royal Rumble and who now holds that WWE Championship. He beat Adam Cole in the main event of WrestleMania 38, making him tap out with that ankle lock in the end, as Kyle O'Reilly is the champ, and he gets into the ring and he gets the mic. And the fans are chanting. He can't even start speaking first at the start because the fans are just chanting, "You deserve it. You deserve it." They're chanting it and they love him and they're happy for him. And Kyle O'Reilly thanks the fans when he finally, gets his composure and the crowd starts to, settle down a little bit so he can talk. And he thanks the fans for all their support and all their love and adoration and, all the people reaching out to him across the world before the match at WrestleMania and after. In the hours since. Because Kyle says he never thought truly he could get here. The main event of WrestleMania, becoming the WWE Champion. He never thought he could get here, and here he is. And there's a lot of people he needs to thank for that. He'd be here all day if he did it in this ring. But the one he wants to focus on right now is thanking all the WWE Universe who have supported him every step of the way. And now on to another man he needs to thank. So Kyle says he needs someone to come out here right now so I can thank him personally. So Bobby Fish, I know you're back there and I know you wouldn't want me to do this, but I need you to get in this ring right now so I can thank you properly. And Bobby Fish does come out to the ring. Kyle O'Reilly's tag team partner for years, very good friends, of course, like brothers. And Bobby Fish gets in the ring and Kyle thanks Bobby for always having his back before WWE, in NXT, on the main roster, on Raw, or on Smackdown. When he made his decision to face Adam Cole, Bobby had Kyle's back and Kyle appreciates that. And he says that just as much as he deserves to be here in the main event of Monday Night Raw, the WWE Champion, so does Bobby. And so Kyle says his first order as WWE Champion is giving Bobby Fish the respect and the love that he deserves. And so, Bobby, I've already spoken over with management tonight. In the main event of the Raw after WrestleMania, it's going to be Kyle O'Reilly versus Bobby Fish for the WWE Championship. The crowd are erupting. Bobby Fish doesn't know what to say. He goes like he's about to talk, and Cole stops him and said, No. You're going to say no, you're going to say you can't, but you can and you will. And you're going to give this match everything you've got. And if you're the better man, you're going to beat me clean in the middle of this ring and take this WWE Championship. Just like I know you're capable of. And Kyle dropping the mic and reaching out his hand. And Bobby Fish shaking his hand. A show of respect. And the main event set for later. Kyle O'Reilly versus Bobby Fish for the WWE Championship. A 100 for that. Really, really good start to the show of this post WrestleMania Raw. A massive main event set for later tonight. Kyle O'Reilly set to make his first hopeful defense of the WWE title against Bobby Fish in what should be a really good match. And then afterwards we go backstage and we find R-Truth kind of walking around, and then he gets a bit distracted, R-Truth, and he trips over a trash can. He's like, "Which way you're going?" shouting at the trash can, but then he stops and he notices something inside and he kind of crawls into the trash can. And the janitor kind of walks by and sees the trash can on the floor and lifts it up, and R-Truth, you hear him just thud to the bottom of it as the janitor kind of walks away, not paying much attention, headphones in or something. And R-Truth finally sticks his head up of the trash can, standing up, and he pulls out of the trash can into the air the 24/7 Championship. R-Truth rediscovers the belt, and R-Truth is your 24/7 champion again. Because one of the things I want from this season is I want it to lighten up a little bit, to be honest. I'll shout out Connell TEW. Great series, his challenge run. Check it out if you haven't. He's just finished his WrestleMania, so why not? And yeah, I want the 24/7 hijinks. I want a bit of comedy to liven things up. I've got plans for it. And so this is how we start. R-Truth has found it in a trash can, and he is bringing back the 24/7 title for a 51. R-Truth's back, the 24/7 title's back. And I am looking forward to the chaos that is going to ensue with this belt, and I hope you are too. As then, we go back to the ring for the first match of this evening between John Morrison and your Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale, the man who made his debut in the Battle Royale and won it, MJF, making his Monday Night Raw debut. A little shake-up tonight, so you'll see some people jumping over to Raw, NXT and Smackdown later on as well. And MJF, a free agent, signing on Monday night. And against John Morrison in his Raw debut, MJF picks up the victory, forcing John Morrison to submit with the Salt of the Earth for a 68. Good match. 63 Morrison, 61 MJF. Got to build MJF up. Something I'm excited to do. MJF, very good. I'm glad to have signed him. Very intrigued by what he's going to be doing. He gets the 68 here. MJF getting on the mic afterwards and introducing himself, saying that, well, do I need to introduce myself? You all know who I am. Unless you've been living in a rock, then you know who the hell I am. I am MJF. I am better than you, and I am better than everyone else on this roster. And I made my debut at WrestleMania 38, as you'd expect, winning in my debut, winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. And where's the trophy, you wonder? Well, why the hell would I lug around the trophy of a lesser individual? Who the hell cares about Andre the Giant? Because the only giant in this business is the giant that is MJF, and the shadow that I leave behind me is ginormous, I assure you. And if you don't know me, then now you do, and let me make this very clear for you. I am MJF. I am professional wrestling. I am sports entertainment. I am going to be WWE champion. That is not a prediction, that's a fact, and that's an inevitability. So to simplify things for you, simply call me your future WWE champion, the inevitable MJ.
I came to play. There's a price to pay. Time for you to get down on your knees and pray. Say goodbye to the good old days. They're never coming back.
When he's interrupted by The Miz. Because if you're doing MJF on WWE, there's no better start to him than The Miz, is there? The Miz coming out saying, well, if this isn't the bargain basement version of me. I see a lot of comparisons online about you and me, Maxwell. But that's just not true, is it? I mean, we can go with that, can't we, Maxwell? We could start there. The Miz catching Maxwell Jacob Friedman, so long-winded, so uppity, so up yourself, which you are. And I get that, so you just shut it down, 3 letters, MJF, M-I-Z, copying me right from the start. I'd respect it if it wasn't so blatant. Maybe the blatantness is what I should respect, though. But now you show up in my company, on my show, in my ring, and you want to act like you own the place. Well, I am sorry, Maxwell. You do not own this place. This company belongs to The Miz. And then out to introduce The Miz is Frederick Fairchild, because they've still got their beef going on. And Fairchild saying that Mike, Maxwell, neither of you run this place. This show belongs to the fabulous Frederick Fairchild. I run this place. This is my show, not either of your shows, and I can let you share the spotlight and share my glory, but this show does belong to me. The only inevitability is not MJF WWE Champion, it's not The Miz WWE Champion, it's Frederick Fairchild WWE Champion. For an 81, these 3 going back and forth on the mic, great as you'd expect. MJF, a little starter feud with The Miz, because it's a good place to start, isn't it? A lot of comparisons between the two, so why not start here, honestly? Before next up, we have a match between the Hardcore Champion Tommaso Ciampa and Oni Lorcan. And in the end, Tommaso Ciampa at WrestleMania got the win over Aleister Black, retaining his hardcore title, and kicks off this new season of WWE with a victory over Oney Lorcan, hitting him with Project Ciampa for a 75. Good match. 84 Ciampa, 35 Lorcan, both doing well. Ciampa gets the win in the end. After the match, Ciampa getting his arm raised, the victor, as he comes out on top over Oney Lorcan. As yes, he is interrupted by Raw's newest superstar, one of its newest superstars, Damian Priest, the Archer of Infamy. Damian Priest had a good Mania himself, didn't he? He won that Monsters Ball Fatal 4-Way, pinning the Demon Finn Balor, carrying Cross and the Fiend, also defeated. God knows where they are. But Damian Priest on Monday Night's Raw, making his way out to the ring, and he just gets into it, and him and Ciampa just staring down. Neither say a word. They just stare almost into each other's soul as Ciampa keeps a very tight grip on that hardcore championship as perhaps his next challenger steps up to him for a 92. Really good match and a really good post-match segment. It's this post-WrestleMania Raw. Rolls on beautifully, going really well. I'm very happy with it. As next up's another match, this time between Angel Garza, also had a really good WrestleMania, of course, beat Edge in a Hell in a Cell match. What more could you want? Taking on the debuting Edris Anafe. Edris Anafe signed to the WWE, making his debut here on Raw against Angel Garza. Just looking to impress, but Angel Garza, of course, King of the Ring winner, former WWE champion, beat Edge at WrestleMania and beat Edris Anafe here tonight with the wing clipper in the end for a 60. 88 Garza, 11 Edris Anafe, and Edris Anafe just got to build, you know. He's right at the start of his career. Plenty of room for the youngster to grow, though. Putting a decent performance, you know. Getting him in the ring with people like Garza to give him that experience in ring. A good idea, I feel. You know, Angel Garza helping him up after the match and a bit of respect, you know. Angel Garza, no issue with Edris Anafe, so why not, you know, help him up. Send into the back. Angel Garza getting on the mic himself and saying that he has finally dealt with his demons. He has conquered his demons. He beat Edge at WrestleMania. He went to hell and back to do so. And he came out the other side victorious and ready to focus on winning back what he never should have lost. He wants his WWE Championship. The WWE Championship Edge cost him at SummerSlam. He wants it back for his family, for his children, for the WWE Universe, for himself. He wants it back. Before more of Raw's newest superstars come out to interrupt him, the Dirty Dogs, Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode, and James Storm, making their way to the ring, and Dolph Ziggler kind of laughing and saying he's not impressed. Saying to Garza that, I actually see a lot of similarities between you and me, kid. You know, I showed up as this hot new thing people wanted to focus on. Vince's chosen one. In some regards, you know, I had my program with Edge. I had the dazzling good looks, a department I clearly still beat you in, by the way. I had my world title moment, and I had it snatched away from me before I could ever truly enjoy it. And so I come to Monday Night Raw here, and I stand across from you, Angel Garza, not impressed. You... A lot of talk about you, but you don't impress me. No, I'm here now, and so the only man coming for the WWE Championship is old DZ, Dolph Ziggler. And if I gotta beat your ass to get there, Angel, then me and my dirty dogs, Robert and James, will have no problem doing just that for a 92. Dirty Dogs on Raw, Dolph Ziggler not impressed with Angel Garza. A match in their future, surely, as it's advertised another thing in our future. Next week will be a Broserweights Champion celebration. Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne, your new Raw Tag Team Champions, for a 100. They will be here on Raw next week for a Champions celebration. The only way the Broserweights know how Matt Riddle over the top, and probably with a lot of weed, and Pete Dunne, you know. Good work though. As next up, out comes the new Intercontinental Champion, Montez Ford. Montez Ford winning that Razor Ramon Memorial Intercontinental Championship ladder match at WrestleMania to dethrone the champion Johnny Gargano and win the belt. He comes out, he thanks the fans, he thanks his beautiful wife Bianca, who also won a championship at WrestleMania. He's so proud of her. He did it. He is the Intercontinental Champion, a champion filled with prestige and with honor that he hopes to continue, a legacy he wants to leave behind. He said many times he's had the great one. 2021 was the best year of his career. In 2022, he wanted to be even better. And so here he stands with this Intercontinental Championship, knowing it is even better, saying that he does not plan to lose this championship anytime, that if someone wants this championship, they're going to have to pry it out of his cold dead hands because he's not giving it up without a fight. And if anyone wants to step up, then please do so. When Johnny Gargano, the former champion, comes out and he congratulates Montez Ford, he said at WrestleMania, the best man won. He can't argue with that and he can't deny that. But what he can say is that one-on-one, he thinks he's better than Montez Ford. One-on-one, he thinks he can take that Intercontinental Championship away from Montez Ford. And so what he can do is ask Montez Ford man-to-man right now, Johnny Gargano, Montez Ford, for the Intercontinental Championship. And Montez Ford saying Johnny Gargano is a fighting champion, and so am I. So you want your match, Gargano? Let's do it right here, right now. Raw after WrestleMania, there's electricity in the air, so why not? The Intercontinental Championship right now, Montez Ford, Johnny Gargano. Let's get a ref out here. Both men taking off their gear. You know, they're out to get their jackets and whatever. Ready for this match. Next up for the Intercontinental Championship at 94, we go to the match. Montez Ford versus Johnny Gargano for the Intercontinental title. In the end, your winner and still Intercontinental Champion Montez Ford with a frog splash in the end, making his first defense of the Intercontinental title for a 99. Well then, that's kind of crazy. What a start to season 2. Am I right? Montez Ford, about 15 minutes, just balls to the wall throughout, and an incredible match. Clearly, the joint second best match of the save so far. As good as anything that happened at WrestleMania, Montez Ford and Johnny Gargano put on an absolute clinic. 92 Gargano, 79 Ford, both doing really well. And Montez Ford retains the Intercontinental title. After the match, they shake hands. Gargano raises Ford's hand and leaves him in the ring for his moment. Montez Ford has done it. He's retained the Intercontinental Champion. Montez Ford is still on top.
Personified, and I will drag you down.
It's Raw after WrestleMania. You need debuts. We've had it. You need returns. Why not? The great one of if not the greatest Intercontinental Champion, a certified future first class Hall of Famer, one of the greatest of all time, Chris Jericho, Judas and all, makes his way out to the ring. Montez Ford holding that Intercontinental title. Jericho gets in the ring. And he says the GOAT is back. Y2J is back. The greatest sports entertainer the world has ever seen is back. And he is back to take what is his. Whilst he's been gone, he's seen people try and take their claim of it, like The Miz, for example. But there's only one greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, baby. And it's Y2J, Chris Jericho, saying that if Montez Ford wants to challenge for it, and he's not too afraid of losing it, because he will lose it, then come and let the champ have a go. An 86 for that post-match respect from Gargano and Ford, and a 100 for the return of Chris Jericho. He is back, and he is stepping up to the Intercontinental Champion Montez Ford. Incredible. Jericho is back. What a nice moment here on the Raw after WrestleMania. As then out comes Io Shirai, your new Women's World Champion, beating Sasha Banks at Mania, an incredible match, and making her way up to the ring here. And Io Shirai saying that she is on top now. Saying that Sasha talk. But in the ring, what happened is what Io said would happen. She beat Sasha. And she is the Women's World Champion now when Sasha Banks interrupts, saying, no, I am the champion. I am the blueprint, the best, and the boss. You do not deserve that belt, my belt. I should be champion still. You can parade around here claiming you're the best, claiming you're the champion, but you're not. So right here, right now, Io, you and me, for that title, let me give you the ass whooping I gave you at WrestleMania and let me take back my title. And Io says, no. You talk too much. You not the best. I'm the best. You are at the back of the line. Sasha not impressed. And then the two women are joined by two more. Naomi and Nia Jax, former women's tag champs, lost it at Mania, clearly not letting that let them down as they jump over from Smackdown to Monday Night Raw. And Naomi saying, Sasha, you heard her, get to the back of the line, I'm sure. You know, former Team BAD member to another, I will happily kick your ass as well once I take that title from her. And I mean, making her intentions clear, and it's set next week. Sasha Banks versus Naomi one-on-one in a Women's World Championship #1 contenders match for a 95. This show just keeps ticking along. This is going to be a very extended episode, but it's the Raw, NXT, and Smackdown after Mania. I think that deserves an extended episode, don't you? A massive match set for next week. A lot going on next week. Very exciting. But an exciting end to tonight still to come, because it's time for the main event of this evening for the WWE Championship. Kyle O'Reilly versus Bobby Fish. Best friends, tag partners, like brothers. O'Reilly wants his first defense to be against Fish. He wants Fish to finally get a WWE title opportunity. And the two men both give it everything they've got, just like Kyle O'Reilly asked for. They don't go easy. They don't dial it down. They dial it up, if anything, to 100, 110, 150, 200. Balls to the wall. Both men give it everything they've got, but in the end, your winner. And still, WWE Champion Kyle O'Reilly. Just like Adam Cole at Mania, forcing Bobby Fish to tap out with that ankle lock and making his first defense of the WWE Championship for a 95. Really good match. Really happy. Great main event on this Raw after Mania special. 91 Kyle O'Reilly, 76 Bobby Fish. Incredible. I'm pumped. I love it. Kyle O'Reilly, after the match, he helps Bobby Fish up. And the two men, they hug. And Bobby Fish raises Kyle O'Reilly's hand and he points to him. A little Triple H point, if anything. Kyle is still the WWE champion. And with that WWE title, though, does come a target. A target that a familiar shark clearly senses. As from behind storms in Adam Cole, baby. And he lays out Fish and O'Reilly with a steel chair, blasting them both with it, before just ripping off his knee pad as Bobby Fish gets to his knees, and then just plants it right in the back of his head, taking Fish down completely. You know, O'Reilly tries to get up and he just smashes the steel chair into his face. Kyle and Bobby both left laying before he grabs hold of the WWE Championship. His WWE Championship he never should have lost, he would say, and raises it above the fallen Fish and O'Reilly. For a 100, great end to the show. A very good Raw to WrestleMania special, I think. You know, debuts, surprise returns like Jericho, two big title matches in a Continental and WWE. A lot of stuff's out for next week in the future. I'm very happy. A good start to things, I think. Overall, it gets 96, so that's a very good start, isn't it? Increased up in 51 regions. Got stars you mean to go on. Yeah, that's what I say. And hopefully we're going to go on very well, you know? Because next up, the fallout from WrestleMania and the beginning of the road to what is next. I will say now, I think that the pay-per-view is going to be WrestleMania Backlash for Smackdown and NXT, and Vengeance for Raw. I think Raw is getting the individual pay-per-view this month. That 99%. But hopefully we can continue these incredible ratings and have another very good post-WrestleMania special. Post-WrestleMania episode, yeah. With another episode of NXT. The NXT after WrestleMania 38. And NXT gets underway with the still NXT champion Chad Gable making his way out to the ring. The crowd cheering and chanting. Gable, of course, at WrestleMania, beating Randy Orton to retain the NXT Championship. Two men shaking hands, hugging after the match. Lovely moment, Gable getting on the mic. And starting off thanking Randy Orton. Saying he wanted Orton to bring his best, and he knows Orton did. Orton brought everything he had at WrestleMania. He gave Gable the fight of his life for this championship right here. And Gable came out on top. But he respects Randy, thanks him for everything. All his mentorship, and he wishes him the best with whatever is next for Randy Orton. And he says one of the reasons that Randy Orton bringing his A-game, bringing his best meant so much to him is because this championship means so much to him. Because of a superstar like Randy Orton, a 14-time world champion, the greatest of all time, gives 110% in this ring on the grandest stage of them all just for a chance to win this title, then we all know this title means something. Because I know this title means something. The NXT Championship means something. NXT means something. Raw and Smackdown have been here for so long, and maybe people look down at NXT. Maybe they look at me holding this championship and think I don't deserve to stand next to Kyle O'Reilly or Keith Lee as a world champion, but I do. Because the NXT Championship is a world championship and Chad Gable is a world champion. For 100, the crowd cheering and chanting Chad Gable, the man of the people, singing off the praises of NXT here, standing as its champion. When the NXT Japan champion Shinsuke Nakamura's music hits, yes, and he makes his way out to the ring, Chad Gable holding his style and watching on as Nakamura, Nakamura's to the ring. And he gets in the ring and he gets the mic and he's face to face with Gable, and he says, "I'm told you're the best." And then Nakamura kind of laughing and says, "I'm better." Nakamura holding the NXT Japan title, Gable holding the NXT title, and Nakamura says, "Tonight," and Gable says, "You're on a massive main event tonight. The NXT after Mania, it will be the NXT champion Chad Gable versus the NXT Japan champion Nakamura. Kind of NXT interpromotional battle between Gable and Nakamura, which, I mean, I'm sure to tear the house down, hopefully. 90 for that. Really good. Really happy. Really strong start to the show. As then we go to people who didn't have so good a Mania. Legado being interviewed. And Legado were asked about what is next. WrestleMania. Humberto and Santos Escobar losing the Cruiserweight tag titles. Andrade losing the Cruiserweight title. What is next? And Zelina Vega interrupts and says no. Says, we're not focusing on that. We're focusing on tonight, because tonight is a special night. The Raw after WrestleMania, a new beginning for Legado. And Legado, I promise, this year will be bigger and better than ever. For an 84, Legado walking away. What is Zelina referring to? We'll have to wait and see. As we kick off tonight with still your NXT North American champion, Isaiah Swerve Scott, taking on Rich Swann, and Swerve comes out on top for an 83. Good match. The JML driver for Swerve for the victory. Coming out on top. 76 Swerve, 74 Swann. Happy with this. Good match as Swerve does get the win. After match, Swerve on the mic saying, "This is Swerve's house. This is Swerve's title at WrestleMania. The dream ended, and Swerve reigns supreme as the North American champion." Swerve very happy. The crowd chanting. Interrupted as Austin Theory comes out, and Austin Theory says, Swerve did good. WrestleMania, he came close in the Andre, but he's been in WWE for what, 6 months, 7, 8 months, whatever it is, and he's tired of waiting around. He wants a championship. He wants that championship, the North American Championship. Austin Theory issuing the challenge to Swerve holding that title and looking at Theory and not having much time to think about it, though, honestly, before he is brutally assaulted from behind by Andrade, who lays out Swerve and Austin Theory before Andrade, standing over both of them, just picks up the North American title and raises it above them before swinging it over his shoulder and leaving. Andrade just taking the North American title, Why not? For a 99, Swerve and Austin left laying at Andrade with the, I was about to say belt, but a belt is what holds up your trousers. It was Raw today, so I have that promo stuck in my head now, thankfully. Andrade walks off with the title. There you go, Miz. Hope you're happy. As then we go backstage to the Mysterios. In a great move, Rey and Dom won the Dusty Cup and won the Cruiserweight Tag Titles at Mania. First father-son tag titles. Rey says in his career, he's won a lot of titles. World titles, Rumbles, mid-card titles, Intercontinental US, whatever. And he's won a lot of tag titles with a lot of different people, but this one means more maybe than any of them. Holding this title with his son. Something he never thought he'd be able to do, but here he is. And he couldn't be happier, he couldn't be prouder. He congratulates Dominic, says he's so proud of him for winning the titles at Mania. And now he says the Mysterios are on top and they plan on staying there for an 81. And they're on top, but they're not standing for much longer as Legado storm in and take them both out from behind, laying waste to them, planting them both on the floor, leaving them laying. And then Carrillo and Escobar pick up the Cruiserweight Tag titles, slump them over their shoulders, and leave as Legado steal another championship. North American and Cruiserweight Tag Team titles in their possession. Not actually the holders of either, but they're in their possession as they walk away. As we kind of stay in tag team with a tag team match next up. A new season of NXT, essentially post-Mania, and highlighting some stars. Needs some building up a lot, but I'm very happy to have it. I'm very happy to build up. They might lower ratings a bit at the start, but I think it's worth it because I want them going forward. So it's a big tag match between Candice LeRae and Cora Jade, with Annie Cooper at ringside, Next Gen, as they're called, taking on the Blackheart World Tank Express, Indy Hartwell, Shotzi Blackheart. 4 great superstars. In the end, it is Next Gen who pick up the win. Cora Jade rolling up Indy Hartwell for the victory for a 62, 63 LeRae, 52 Shotzi, 48 Indy, 46 Cora. Good match as LeRae and Jade pick up the win. Cooper getting in the ring, all 3 celebrating. Black Hartwell back to their feet, and the 5 women shake hands. Nice moment. No animosity here, just some respect, all wanting to show what they can do. As 2 other women who want to show what they can do out of nowhere appear and lay all 5 of them out. How can they do that? Well, this pairing, without a question of a doubt, these 2 are buffer than your boyfriend. Persia Perosa and Tiffany Stratton of #trending lay out all 5 of them, LeRae, Jade, Cooper, Hartwell and Blackheart, and stand tall for a 58. Yeah. What is this? 7 people that I'm big fans with and I'd like to use a bit more. So, you know what? Give them some spotlight here. Set something up going forward. Why not? I'm happy. As then it is time for a celebration as out comes finally the NXT Women's Champion, long overdue, Dakota Kai. And she's happy. She says it's long overdue. She's been waiting for so long to hold this title, and here she is in this ring holding this championship. And Raquel, they were friends, they had problems, but no, she's got this title now. Raquel's in the past. Dakota Kai is here, and Dakota Kai is now. And Dakota Kai is the NXT Women's Champion. She wants to be an NXT Women's Champion that you could be proud of. Dakota Kai wants to hold this title with honor, with dignity, with respect. She wants anyone who wants a shot to step up and take it. as the Iconics come out. Peyton Royce and Billy Kay. And Peyton Royce saying that, Dakota, you got that championship now. But, I mean, if we're looking at people who have been in NXT before, who can really rock some coloured hair, well then, I mean, Dakota Kai is not the one who should be NXT Women's Champion. It's Peyton Royce, because that would be iconic now, wouldn't it? For a 68. There's a little impromptu match here. Dakota Kai taking on Peyton Royce. As before I do that, are you sure? No. Dakota Kai, new gimmick. It gets great. Her last one was getting stale, but a new gimmick. Captain of Team Kit gets it great. No complaints. And then Dakota Kai versus Peyton Royce. And Dakota Kai picks up the win with the chiropractor in 11.5 minutes, 72. Good match, 66 Kai, 52 Royce. Dakota Kai gets her first win of her NXT Women's Championship reign. She goes up the ramp, raising the title. She's happy, turns back to the crowd, raises it one more time. Crowd cheering, and then crowd trying to warn her as she is taken out from behind by Zelina Vega of Legado. Vega beats down on Kai, tosses her into the LED screens. Kai left laying as Vega picks up the NXT Women's title, raises it up, slumps it over her shoulder, and leaves. I mean, Zelina Vega said Legado's coming back better than ever. I mean, old Legado only had 3 titles, but currently they have 4 titles in their hands. They don't actually have any titles, but they're holding on to 4 championships, 3 individually. But all 4 members have a title over their shoulder. There you go. For an 89. Good post-match. Zelina Vega taking the NXT Women's title from Dakota Kai. And maybe Zelina Vega, tired of sitting in that management role for too long, setting her sights on some championship gold of her own. As next up, we have another tag match. This time, a little cruiserweight action between the Colognes and a new team on NXT. Cedric Alexander and Ricochet, formerly of Raw, formerly of the MVPs, but now out on their own. And in the end, managed to pick up the victory over the Colognes. Ricochet pinning Epico with the Benadryller. There you go. 72. Good enough match. 76 Ricochet, 70 Cedric, 45 Primo, 38 Epico. Happy with this. Afterwards, interviewer gets in the ring for Cedric and Ricochet. Welcomes them to NXT. Asked them, what are they planning? They got the sights set on the Mysterios. Mysterios attacked by Legado later tonight, but is that what you're looking at? The Cruiserweight Tag Team titles and the Mysterios? And Cedric and Ricochet, they kind of look at each other and say that, they enjoy teaming together and working together, but at the end of the day, they want championships. Cruiserweight Tag Team, sure, but the title they both have their eye on right now is the Cruiserweight Championship. And Trey Griffin, who comes out and he says, I ain't ever back down from a fight, and I don't plan on starting it now. So Cedric, Ricochet, both of you, either of you, whoever wants some, you want a shot at this gold, come right ahead, because I ain't backing down. I ain't giving up. I go toe-to-toe with whoever wants to step it for a 70. Good match, good segment. Ricochet and Cedric both want that Cruiserweight title, and Trey Griffin seems more than willing to fight them both. So, kind of working on the fallout from Mania, but then also trying to build forward. That's what you got to do, isn't it? I mean, the NXT after Mania, but also the first NXT leading to WrestleMania Backlash. So, starting to build things, starting to move people around, all good. As then, Legado are shown in the parking lot getting ready to leave. All got their titles. Andrade, North American title over his shoulders. Humberto and Santos both have the Cruiserweight Tag title, one on each shoulder, each have one. Zelina Vega even has the NXT Women's Championship, which compared to her is absolutely massive, obviously. When they are stopped by Destined for Greatness. Carmelo Hayes, Anthony Ogogo, Jade Cargill, Eli Cassidy, Trick Williams. That's the whole group. Marcus Redden is injured. Or is Eli Cassidy injured? I genuinely couldn't tell you. Neither of them are here, because they're injured. One of them's injured. I can't remember from the top of my head, so we'll go with that. And they stop him, and Carmelo saying that, Andrade, you've been walking around this show like you own it for too long. At WrestleMania, I thought maybe you losing your title would humble you a bit, but clearly not, parading around with that championship that don't belong to you. Andrade telling Carmelo Hayes to back down, to walk away before I kick your ass like I kicked everyone else's. And Carmelo Hayes saying then, Let's get it. And Carmelo Hayes storming into Andrade. Humberto and Santa Spa trying to intervene when Antiogogo storms into both of them, fighting them. Zelina Vega looking at Jade Cargill. I mean, it's quite a funny height difference. And then Zelina Vega rushing over to the guard. The rest of the Gargo still brawling a bit when Ridge Holland appears. Ridge Holland, William Regal's personal security, William Regal's assistant, whatever you want to say. Like, what's going on here then? You know? And then they all kind of separate. Legado leaving. The title's on the floor. Hayes picks up the North American title. A familiar sight. Ogogo picking up the Cruiserweight tag titles, one on each arm. And Jade Cargill holding the NXT Women's Championship. And they all hand them over to Ridge Holland for Ridge Holland to, you know, he says he'll make sure Regal gets season and Regal will redistribute the wealth, won't he, to the champions for an 86. Good segment, good little backstage thing here. You know, Legado and DFG button heads here. Ridge Holland stepping in, intimidating, you know, putting order in place. Happy enough. Before it's time for the main event, massive match. NXT Champion Chad Gable versus NXT Japan Champion Shinsuke Nakamura. What a match. Both men going at it, giving it everything they've got. Crowd loving it. This is awesome. Fight forever. And in the end, Gable and Nakamura just kind of slugging it out in the middle of the ring. Both men groggy, both men tired, just slugging it out. When out of nowhere, they are ambushed, kind of sandwiched, one from each end, by Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel. Double disqualification, just match just ending, you know, no winner. 93 for the match though, really good main event, as you'd expect from Chad Gable and Shinsuke Nakamura. 93 Gable, 83 Nakamura, happy with this. As Bartel and Eichner beat down, both laying out Gable and Nakamura with a finishing move. And then they just stand over both of them. You know, the NXT title draped over Gable, the NXT Japan title draped over Nakamura. And they both stand over Gable and Nakamura, and they do the little Imperium pose when yes, Walter, the NXT UK champion, still holding it, has never lost it, makes his intimidating walk out to the ring. I'll tell you, I have debated calling him Walter or Gunter. I really have. I went with Walter in the end. If you have a problem with that, I'm sorry. Walter making his way into the ring, NXT UK title draped over his shoulder, poses above the fallen NXT and NXT Japan champions Gable and Nakamura. Gable and Nakamura, you know, arguing about who's the best of the NXT champions. Maybe Walter putting an exclamation point saying, "Not either of you, lol," for a 96. Good main event, good post-match, happy with this. Overall, this NXT after WrestleMania gets us a 95. Amazing show. You know, very happy, especially, you know, I was expecting maybe it would get hit a bit with, like, Cora Jade and Black Hartwell and all that, like, quite prominently featured, but still doing really well, still really happy. Gable, Nakamura, and Walter all tearing the house down. We love it. Increased our pop on 31 regions. No complaints. As another good post-Mania show, and hopefully we can have one more to end this season opener for us with the post-WrestleMania edition of Smackdown. And Smackdown gets underway with Paige making her way out to the ring. Paige, SmackDown's general manager, now former general manager. At WrestleMania, of course, the Battle of the Brands match, her representative AJ Styles was pinned, and so she was the general manager that was fired. That is losing her job, and she comes out for a 65 to say her goodbyes. She thanks the fans for their supports. You know, she says being SmackDown general manager for a second time was another great honor in her life. Being in WWE is a great honor in her life. Being in front of the WWE Universe, these incredible fans that support her all the way, is a great honor in her life. And she says she doesn't know what's next. She says she doesn't know where is next, but, you know, she knows the fans will always be there for her, always be here to support her, and she'll carry that with her always when she is interrupted by Deonna's little gang. Deonna, Frankie, Chelsea, Lana, Aaliyah. I always have to think when naming them. I got to stop making such big stables. And they come out, and Deanna's saying to Paige that no one's gonna miss her. Saying that Paige has done a terrible job at her job for so long. I mean, Deanna was shocked when Paige got the job back in the first place, but here she is. I mean, how is Paige meant to lead a roster full of superstars when she's too broken to be one herself? Deanna saying that Paige is washed up, Paige is a has-been, Paige is nothing anymore. Most importantly though, Paige is not in charge anymore, and so there will be no repercussions when we do this. And then Deanna's group beating down on Paige, attacking her, laying her out. When the music of Liv Morgan hits and Liv Morgan rushes down to the ring, trying to fight them all off, they start to overwhelm her a bit when the music of the $1 million champion Bianca Belair hits, and Bianca Belair storms down as well, and then her and Liv Morgan together fight off Deanna's group, get them out of the ring for an 80. General manager wise, I'm not going to tell you yet, not just because I have no idea really, but leave a little suspense. You know, maybe we'll go with revealing it at the pay-per-view. We'll see what Vincent Kennedy McMahon, the man in charge, thinks. But for now, the general manager working behind the scenes, or shall I just say the person in charge, I guess Vince at the moment, announces next up, immediately, Liv Morgan and Bianca Belair teaming up against two members of Deanna's posse, Deanna's Diamonds. I always say it, but if you have a better name suggestion, let me know. And it's chosen Aaliyah and Chelsea Green to compete. So Aaliyah and Chelsea Green versus Liv Morgan and Bianca Belair, an 80 for that. And then the match gets a 65 as Belair and Liv Morgan do come out on top. Morgan pinning Chelsea Green after the Liv kick for that 65. Good match. Good, you know, decent little opening start to things here. 65 Bianca, 62 Liv, 46 Aaliyah, 39 Chelsea. Happy with this? Decent start, you know. No issues. As then it's advertised later on tonight, will be a tribal summit hosted by the tribal chief Roman Reigns. You know, after beating The Rock at WrestleMania, he's hosting a little tribal summit just to go over some things for an 82. Yeah. It's just an advertisement, so I take an 82. Before we head into a tag match next up, the Forgotten Sons, bet you forgot about them, take on Breezango, the newest members of the Smackdown roster. And Breezango come out on top for 55, which all things considered I'll take. Tyler Breeze pinning Wesley Blake with the supermodel kick into the Falcon Arrow from the pair. 60 Tyler Breeze, 56 Fandango, 34 Blake, 22 Cutler. Happy with this as Breezango get a decent start of things on SmackDown. I mean, relatively big plans. I don't know, big's the word. Plans for Breezango. There you go. As then it is time for the Tribal Summit. Roman, Jimmy, Jay, and Jacob all come out to the ring. And Roman's talking about it. He says at WrestleMania, I smashed Dwayne. I stacked him up. I pinned him 1, 2, 3 clean in the middle of this ring, my ring. And then standing above Dwayne, listening to him acknowledge me, listening to the supposed strongest member of my bloodline acknowledge me, looking how weak and pathetic he looked, made me think and made me realize maybe my bloodline isn't as strong as I thought it was. Maybe some parts of my family tree are broken. Maybe some branches are irredeemable and easily replaceable. So then I have to look around at the members of my bloodline ahead of me, and I've already made some sacrifices. Nia Jax, not even a part of my bloodline, a branch on Dwayne's family tree, and that family tree is rotten and broken, and so she couldn't stay, and neither could Naomi, because she even got my blood in her veins. And then I look at what's left here in Jimmy and Jay and Jacob, and Jimmy and Jay, y'all on thin ice at WrestleMania, embarrassing the tribal chief by losing the SmackDown tag titles. That ain't gonna stand. Y'all gonna get those titles back for this family, for this bloodline, for my bloodline. Or there will be consequences. And then there's you, Jacob. What y'all ever done? What have y'all ever done? No. You want a spot at the table, Jacob? You want a seat on the head of the table's table? You want a seat in my bloodline, in my family tree? You gotta earn it now. You gotta prove you belong, Jacob. And so here's what we're gonna do right now. You're gonna earn your spot. You're gonna earn your keep. And you're gonna fight your cousin to do it. And Jacob, a bit surprised, saying, that's what I gotta do, Oos. I'll fight Jimmy. I'll fight Jay. I'll fight either of these guys. I'll fight both of them if you want, to prove I belong here in this bloodline. And Roman kind of laughed and saying, oh no, Jacob. You're not fighting Jimmy. And you're not fighting Jay. When, yes, a debuting Solo Sikoa comes out to the ring. And Roman saying, this is my cousin Solo Sikoa, ready to be welcomed back into the fold, ready to prove he belongs in my bloodline at my table. So who's it going to be? Who's going to earn their seat at this table? Jacob or Solo? Let's find out. Let's get a referee out here. And the referee coming out. Solo on one side. Jacob on the other. And the referee again's ready to ring the bell when Roman's just like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. And then Roman Reigns unleashes a Superman punch to Jacob Fatu, dazing him before he rushes, rebounds off the rope and plants him with a massive spear. Then he looks at Solo and tells him to get him up. Solo Sikoa lifting up Jacob Fatu and holding him up, and Roman tells the Usos to super kick him. And Jimmy and Jay are hesitant. This is their cousin, this is their family, this is their blood. And Roman grabs them both by the neck and shoves them both into the ropes and says, do it for me, do it for your tribal chief, do it to show you belong here. And Jimmy and Jay hesitant, but they have no choice. And they double super kick Jacob Fatu. And they lay him out on the mat. And Roman says, good, good. And then he tells them to get the hell out my ring. And Jimmy and Jay leave in the ring, going to ringside. And he goes over to Solo and he places his hand on his neck. And he says, take your spot at the table. And he leaves the ring, telling the ref to ring the bell. And the referee does. Solo Sikoa just picking up Jacob Fatu and just beating the hell out of him. Not content with the Superman punch, and not content with the spear or the super kicks. Solo Sikoa just beating the hell out of Jacob Fatu, leaving him bloodied and broken on the mat, planting him with that Samoan drop before he covers him. For a 1-2-3, the Tribal Summit got 100, incredible, and then the match got a 33 because Solo Sikoa is very new, and we got to build him up, don't we? He's got a 28 in-ring performance there, which is a good start, and he'll get a massive boost for this win over Jacob Fatu for a 59. Happy with this, as after the match, Roman Reigns getting in the ring, telling the Usos to get in as well. And then Roman Reigns reaching his hand out and shaking Solo Sikoa's, and he says, welcome to the table. Welcome to my bloodline. For 74. Good match, good segments. Tribal Summit. Jacob Fatu is out of the bloodline, kicked from the table, and replaced by Solo Sikoa. And Roman, clearly not very impressed with Jimmy and Jay either at the moment. And Jimmy and Jay maybe not impressed with Roman. Stuff to build on. 74 for that. I'm happy. That's good. This is 10. We break up that incredibly long segment with hopefully a good match between Cesaro taking on King Corbin. And it is. Cesaro gets the win with the neutralizer for a 79. Yeah, good match, you know. After the, no offense to him, Solo Sikoa once again needs to be built up. So after that, a match to get things going again, keep the crowd back up. 71 Cesaro, 68 Corbin. Happy with this. Good little match. As then we have another promo. And it's kind of a, you know, flashing images of war, of fire, of riots. And then you hear the voiceover saying that all I've ever wanted was peace. That's all I've ever wanted for this world. And then I see what goes on. War and corruption, anger, greed. Even here in the WWE, these sins, these crutches, they can't be stopped. And so I come here knowing I must stop them. If I want peace, I have to go to war. I realize now that the only way to achieve peace. Then it stops on a figure, and he raises his head, and it's that ever so creepy smile of Joe Gacy as he says the only way to peace is through control. For 23, Joe Gacy also needing to be built up, but two, new superstars debuting here, and Solo Sikoa and Joe Gacy so far. I am happy. Joe Gacy wants peace, and he says he has to get it through control. As then we have a tag team match next up, the tag champs in action. Reed and Joe, Bronson Reed and Samoa Joe, that is, taking on Heavy Machinery, the new tag champs, looking to prove themselves here. And they get the win. Yeah, Bronson Reed pinning Tucker with the Tsunami for a 71. Yeah, good match, decent enough. 80 Reed, 72 Joe, 46 Otis, 40 Tucker. Happy with that. As then it's time for another exceedingly long segment. I assure you, this is somehow going to be longer than Raw, isn't it? It's the Bullard brand coming out. I'll try and remember all their names. Thaddeus Bullard. Oh god, Thaddeus Bullard, LA Knight, Apollo Crews, Socrates Torres, Alfonso Bourbon, Cameron Grimes, and Paul Heyman. There you go. And they come out, and Thaddeus Bullard, of course, WrestleMania, lost the Universal Championship to Keith Lee, who'll be here later tonight, I promise. And Thaddeus Bullard says that Bullard brand didn't have a good night at WrestleMania. I can't try and pretend otherwise. I can't try and argue a bit at WrestleMania. Bullard brand failed. I failed. I lost that Universal Championship to Keith Lee. And you know what? Keith Lee was the better superstar on the night, and I gotta respect that. But we are gonna come back better. And we're gonna come back stronger. The Bullard brand will not stay down for long. We will come back from this bigger and better than ever. Then you hear kind of a laughing in the background. And you see LA Knight laughing. And Thaddeus Bullard says, "Something funny, LA?" LA Knight just grabs the mic and says, "We didn't have a good night. Let me talk to you. At WrestleMania, on night 1, Thaddeus Bullard failed. He lost the Universal Championship to Keith Lee. But then on night 2, when the other member of the Bullard brand, LA Knight, was in action against John Cena, the 16-time world champion, what happened? Oh yeah, baby. LA Knight came out on top. LA Knight pinned big match John, unstoppable John Cena, 1, 2, 3 in the middle of this ring. And then you got the balls right there, Thaddeus, to stand in this ring. Right here, right now, saying that we failed, saying we didn't have a good night. Well, guess what, baby? LA Knight had the best night of his career whilst you were failing and floundering. LA Knight was shining on the grandest stage of them all. So we didn't fail, Thaddeus. You failed. And hell, maybe you're used to that. I've seen your career record. You've had a good 2 years, and you had an awful 8 before it. So maybe you're just used to failure. Huh? Maybe that old taste in your mouth is still clinging on. And maybe you think this is normal, but LA Knight says it's not. And the only thing ruining LA Knight's mood right now is the fact that he's attached to the name Bullard when Bullard is a failure and LA Knight is the star around here. So tell me, Thaddeus, who should really be in charge around here? And Thaddeus Bullard kind of like, what? Not happy, starts approaching LA Knight as LA Knight drops the mic. And from behind, Thaddeus Bullard is taken down onto his knees with Alfonso Bourbon smashing his crutch into his back. Thaddeus Bullard taken down is Socrates Torres, and Alfonso Bourbon just beat down on Bullard, kicking him and beating him down into the mat. For LA Knight tells him to drag him up. He takes off his leather jacket and then he plants Thaddeus Bullard with the BFT into the mat. Thaddeus Bullard kind of dazed, kind of out of it a bit, looking up, groggy. He looks up towards Apollo Crews and he reaches his hand out towards Apollo Crews, like, help me. Like, help me. And Apollo Crews just looks down at him with pity, with sadness, with disgust. And Apollo Crews just leaves the ring and goes up the ramp. Paul Heyman has moved to ringside at this point, not getting involved in that action. As a camera guy is also just kind of looking on as LA Knight, Alfonso Bourbon, and Socrates Torres stand tall over the fallen Thaddeus Bullard for an 83. Good segment. I told it, the Ides of March featuring the Bullard brand. I realise we're in April, but still, Thaddeus Bullard, my Caesar, has been stabbed in the back, betrayed and buried here. As he'll look to recover, but for tonight, it belongs to Knight, Bourbon, and Torres. As, Bullard brand. Oh boy. I think that's about it for the really long segments tonight, so let's head into a bit of a shorter one. As the new Women's Tag Team Champions, Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch, come out to the ring. And they say they prove they can coexist to WrestleMania. They prove they've got what it takes. They are the Women's Tag Team Champions, and they're going to be fighting Tag Team Champions. Anyone wants some to come get some? Raw, NXT, Smackdown, hell, any team in the world. Impact Wrestling, you got a team you want to send? Bring it. New Japan, you got some New Japan, you got some people you want to send? Bring it. Stardom, we love you over there. You want to come over? Come on then. AEW, you've got a host of incredible talent. You might want to use them. Well, send them on over and we'll send them packing back to you. Who wants to step up to the new Women's Tag Team Champions? And it is the unit of Doudrop and Mia Yim who do so. Mia Yim and Doudrop coming close, getting to the finals of the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, but coming up short. But coming out for a 100 here, saying, you want a challenge? Why not us? Charlotte and Becky saying, okay, so next up, Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch taking on Doudrop and Mia Yim. And Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch get the win and make their first defense of the women's tag titles for a 79. Good enough match. 90 Becky, 80 Charlotte, 56 Doudrop, 47 Yim. Happy with this. Good match. Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair stand tall before being promptly brought back down to earth by No Mercy to take on Sonya Deville and Shayna Baszler. Storm out of nowhere and take down Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, beating them into the map, standing till when the music of the new Women's Universal Champion Ronda Rousey hits, and she storms out to the ring and she fights off Tay Conti and Sonya Deville and Shayna Baszler. They're trying to take advantage of the numbers game, but Becky and Charlotte get back into it, and then it's just 3-3 and No Mercy in the end, leaving the ring, the champion standing tall for a 90. Good match, good segment. Happy with this as it's time to end the show with the champion's address of our new Universal Champion, Keith Lee, the Limitless One, winning the title at WrestleMania, finally doing it. At 100, he comes out, he gets on the mic, and he thanks the fans. He proved that he can live up to that limitless potential. Everyone always talks of him. He proved that it's now time to bask in the glory of Keith Lee, the new Universal Champion, and may his name echo throughout the eons and the entire universe. Here tonight, Keith Lee is the Universal Champion. Keith Lee is on top. Keith Lee belongs at the top of this division. SmackDown Live has a champion it can look to now in Keith Lee, who will defend this brand and this title with dignity and with honor and with respect and with every fiber of his being every time he gets into as the music, hits. And he is interrupted by the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. And AJ Styles gets into the ring and he congratulates Keith Lee. He says, Keith Lee's first real moment at WrestleMania 37 against AJ Styles, the phenomenal one, for that defiant internet championship. And now look where they are right now. Keith Lee, the Universal Champion on SmackDown. But SmackDown is not Keith Lee's show, because everybody still remembers and everyone still knows that SmackDown is the house that AJ Styles built. And he's back now. Daddy's home. And he might not have the WWE Championship to grab and to carry on his back like he did this show for so long. But there is that Universal title. And he says that he is back to take what's his, and that is the spot at the top of Smackdown, his show. And Keith Lee saying that, AJ, I'm not in the business of just handing out championship matches. But if you want a chance to earn a shot at my title, if you want a chance to earn a shot as the head of SmackDown to reclaim the house that you say you built ever so well, then you can have it. For a 92, AJ wants a shot at Keith Lee. Keith Lee very willing to let AJ earn it to end the show. I mean, a lot has happened tonight. This has been so long, somehow longer than Raw. But, I mean, massive faction segments in Bullard Brand and Tribal Summit. It's going to extend the length, isn't it? Overall, SmackDown gets an 88. Yeah, the matches brought it down a bit, but I'm really happy with the show. So, introducing some new people like Solo and Joe Gacy. Big segments like the Bullard Brand and the Tribal Summit. A lot going on. I'm very happy. As that is it for this post-WrestleMania week. We are back into the swing of things, and I really hope you've enjoyed. What did you think of these post-WrestleMania Raw, NXT, and SmackDowns? Let me know in the comments down below. Anything shocked you? Anything you're looking forward to that was maybe teased or began here? Also let me know down below. And whilst you're down there, why don't you leave a like and subscribe for more? And as always, you know, Season 1 done, Season 2 just beginning. Thank you for the support as always. It's very much appreciated. I hope you've enjoyed. And so, yeah. I am very much looking forward to, as we continue, we've just started, and we continue the road to Vengeance and WrestleMania Backlash. I just want to say thank you for watching.